Hello, dear friends. Myself, Dr. K.N. Gaikwad, Department of Botany, KTHM College, Nasik. Class SYBSc, semester second, and number of paper is first. Botany paper first. The code of paper is BO241. And the title, last time we have seen Plant Anatomy and Embryology. Last time we have seen what is the syllabus of our paper and introduction of plant anatomy. Dear student, today we are going to study epidermal tissue system, chapter number 2nd. Under that, we have to study what is the structure of epidermis, types and functions of epidermis. Epidermal tissues is system in the outer protective layer in the primary plant body. The function of epidermal system is protection of inner tissue. We can define the epidermis, it is outermost coating or covering of plant organ is known as epidermis. Total, there are different tissue systems are there. For example, epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system, or fundamental tissue system, mechanical tissue system, and vascular tissue system. In this chapter, we have to study the only epidermal tissue system. Epidermis is nothing but the tissue adjusts itself to the surroundings. It protects the inner tissues from any adverse external factors like high temperature, desiccation, mechanical injury, pathogen attack, and infection. The epidermis may persist throughout the plant life, or it may, in some cases, be replaced by periderm when the older epidermis becomes inactive. Now let us see first of all what is the definition. All the components of epidermis such as epidermis, epidermal outgrowths like glandular and non-glandular hairs, stomatal complex, their thickenings, etc. are together referred as epidermal tissue system. Now second point is the structure of epidermis. The outermost layer of apical meristem named variously as protoderm, dermatogen or tunica which gives rise to epidermis. Generally the epidermis is single layer of cells, but in nerium or xerophytic plants, for example ficus, nerium, orchids, there are multi-layer epidermis is there to perform the various functions. For example, absorption of moisture from environment by filament tissue, multi-layer epidermis for protection from high temperature, etc. The epidermal cells are usually thin, thick wall epidermal cells occur in some gymnosperm. The outer surfaces of epidermal cells wall are usually covered by the cutin or wax. The cuticle protect the plant from desiccation or to check the rate of transpiration. Sometimes wax may be also deposited on the surface of cuticle to form a white powdery lining on various fruits. For example, grapes. Epidermal cells are horizontally placed. Now see in this diagram, they are the coating. This is called the cuticle, which is green in color, and just below the green surface layer, there is a one layer epidermal cells are there. They are horizontally flattened and remain parallel to the surface of the organ. Usually intercellular spaces among the epidermal cells are also there, but in some plant it is absent. Chloroplasts are absent in epidermal cell except in specialized guard cells of stomata. These cells also contain the crystals of calcium carbonate to form cystolith. For example, ficus plant and arum plant. The epidermis is outermost layer in the different plant organs like root, stem, leaves, etc. The epidermis possesses different types of outgrowths. For example, trichomes, hairs, glandular or non-glandular, etc. It is mainly protective in function. They are single layer or multi-layer. The walls of epidermal cells are unevenly thickened. See in this diagram. Unevenly thickened cells are there. The inner and radial walls are comparatively thicker. Now the inner walls are there. They are comparatively thicker. There is additional thickness due to the impregnation of suberin, putin, lignin, etc. And that wall protect the epidermis from mechanical injury and to check the loss of water. The epidermal cell appear polygonal in surface hue and irregular in outline. They are found in various shapes and sizes. They are arranged very close to the surface, close to each other, with no intercellular spaces. In this diagram, there is no intercellular spaces are there. In monocotyledon, they are elongated in surface view. They are flattened side views and compactly arranged without intercellular spaces. If we take the LS of the plant organ, they are slightly elongated in plant growing in dry areas. And the outer walls of epidermis are more thickened because of cutin and suberin deposition to check the loss of water. In some plant, the epidermal cells are also contain anthocyanin leucoplasts and chromoplasts. The chromoplasts are absent in epidermal cells except the guard cells of stomata. In root system, the outermost layer is also known as epiblema in place of epidermis, or piliferous layer or rhizodermis. The cells of epiblema extend to outward in the form of tubular unicellular root hairs. Now let us see what are the types of epidermis. There are two types of the epidermis. In first diagram, this is the uniserrate epidermis. Now see in this diagram, epidermal cells consist of single layer of cells. It is continuous layer except for numerous small pores called stomata and lenticels. Epidermis is single layer. The below cells are called hypodermis. Therefore, it is known as uniserrate epidermal cells are there. In meristematic region, it is differentiated, undifferentiated in old and root. Old stem and roots, it may be destroyed by secondary growth. Now in this second diagram, this is the transduction of nerium leaf is there. Here you will get second type, multiserrate epidermis. Multiserrate epidermis, now in this diagram 1, 2, 3 layers of green color layers are there here. That's why it is called multi-layer, and they are also covered by the cuticle. The thick cuticle is present to protect the plant organs, inner organs from excess heating or high temperature. Multi-layer epidermis occurs in leaves of many plants like nerium, begonia, ficus, rhizophora, etc. In this plant, epidermis is made up of 3 to 5 layers of cells. In our diagram, there are 3 layers are there. In some plant, for example, peperomia, the upper multiple epidermis is consist of 14 to 15 layers. This multiple epidermal varies in thickness from 2 to 16 layers of cell. The velamen and aerial terrestrial roots of orchids is a multi-layer and modified epidermis. They consist of velamen tissue. And that velamen tissue become absorb the atmospheric moisture, which is supplied for the physiological activities of the plant body. Now in this diagram, you will see the thick cuticle is there, and this is the multi-layer epidermis. Just below multiple epidermis, here is a palisade parenchyma, and bundle sheet is there, xylem phloem, spongy parenchyma. Then toward the lower epidermis, this is the small opening. Hairs are there. It is called stomata. Now let's see functions of epidermal tissues. What are the functions? The thick cuticularized epidermis gives protection to the inner tissue from different external forces and provide resistance against insect and pathogen. That means they protect the plant body from rate of transpiration, from high temperature, then it protect the plant body from pathogen attack or insect attack. Second function is that the thick cuticle prevent plant from desiccation. Third one, they are for water storage because the specialized bulliform cells help in water storage. Unrolling of developing leaves and opening and closing movement of mature leaves are carried out by the water storage condition. Then fourth function is nothing but the absorption of moisture. In orchids are nothing but the epiphytic plant, and the epidermis consists of special filament cells that are useful for absorption of moisture from the environment. In some plants, epidermis store water, unwanted material, and food. The next one, prevent excess evaporation of water. That means due to the multilayer epidermis of thick cuticle, they protect the plant from high temperature or reduce the rate of transpiration. They also prevent the evaporation. Then in some plant, the epidermal cells are green in color. That's why they also carried out the photosynthesis, preparation of the food material. Then secretion of metabolites. That means they also help for photosynthesis and secretion of metabolites. Then last one, ninth one is that cutinization, wax deposition, suberation are process of secretion by the epidermis. Now these are the some functions of epidermis. Next point is that stomata. Stomata is nothing but one of the apparatus of the epidermal tissue system. These are the minute layers, minute pores which occur on the aerial surface of plant. The stomata may occur on any part of the plant except the root. Stomata occur on both surfaces, upper and lower surfaces. But in most of the plant, they are always present on the lower surfaces to reduce the rate of transpiration. But however, in floating hydrophytes, stomata are present only on the upper surface because lower surface is touched to the water body. That's why stomata are present on upper surface because there is no problem of water. In dicots, the stomata remain scattered in the leaves, and in monocots, they are arranged in parallel rows in the cell. Now see, this is a diagram of dicot stomata. The stomata is located the stomata is located in the pits below the epidermal leaf surface or maybe sunken type. That means in mesophytic plant and hydrophytic plant, the stomata are simple. They are directly present on the surface of the epidermis. But when the plant is xerophytic, at that time, the stomata are sunk in the epidermal cells. And that type of the stomata is called sunken stomata. The function of sunken stomata is nothing but to check the loss of water, to prevent the rate of transpiration. First of all, the stoma meaning mouth was coined by D. Candolle in 1827. In dicot plant, the stomata remains surrounded by two kidney cells are there. Now these are the two kidney cells. This is the stomatal pore, and there are the epidermal cells are there. Subsidiary cells, and the green are nothing but the epidermal cell. This is the structure of typical dicot stomata. The guard cells are surrounded by accessory or subsidiary cells. These guard cells are surrounded by the yellow color subsidiary cells or accessory cells. These are specialized epidermal cells which are distinguishing by their shape and size from the guard cells and rest of the epidermal cells. They are also called accessory cells. The wall of the guard cells are unevenly thickened The inner wall is thick and outer wall is elastic and thin. Inner wall are thick in nature and outer walls are mostly thin and elastic. In that, each guard cell has a cytoplasmic lining and large central vacuole field with cell sap. The cytoplasm contained of guard cell is nucleus, chloroplast, mitochondria, dictyosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes. But the radial walls of guard cells are cellulosic. This is the structure of typical stomata. Now see, this is the opening and closed type of the stomata are there. One of the example, this is the open stomata and this is the closed stomata. Open stomata become open during daytime and it becomes show the small pore. And during night time, the pore is collapsed and each guard cell become close to each other during night time. It is called closed stomata and this one is nothing but the open stomata. Both show the two guard cell, subsidiary cells, epidermal cells, inner wall, outer wall, etc. Now next point is that types of stomata. Pant is one of well-known anatomists. In 1965, classified the stomata on the basis of development of the guard cells. That is mesogenous, perigenous, and mesoperigenous. This is the first mesogenous stomata. In this type, both guard cells and subsidiary cells are derived from single multi-stemoid cells. For example, Rubiaceae, Cruciferae. Second type of the stomata is nothing but the इथं चूक झाली हा सेकंड पाहिजे हा थर्ड पॉइंट पाहिजे second is perigenous stomata. In this type stomata the guard cells and subsidiary cells have independent in origin. For example, members of Cucurbitaceae. And third type of the stomata according to the Pant, mesoperigenous, that means intermediate between mesogenous and perigenous. In this type the subsidiary cells are of dual origin. In some are derived from stomatal mother cell and in some plant they are from neighboring cells. For example, Caryophyllaceae. Now next type of the stomata classification is according to the Metcalfe and Chuck in 1950 on the basis of association of guard cells and neighboring cells. These are nothing but anomocytic. It is also called ranunculus type or irregular. Example, ranunculus and Caperis. Second type of stomata is anisocytic. Cruciferous type, example Brassica and Potato. Third one, parasitic, Rubiaceous. Another name, example Ixora and Hamilia. 4, diacytic. It is also called Caryophyllaceous. Example Dianthus and Hygrophila. Fifth one, graminaceous. All the graminea members, grasses are shows the graminaceous type of the dumbbell shaped guard cells are there. And last one, coniferous type, for example Pinus. Now see, these are some diagrams. First one, anomocytic. It is also called ranunculus type. In this type, the stomata remain surrounded by irregular subsidiary cells. There are irregular subsidiary cells are there. Example, ranunculus and Caperis. Because classification is based upon the position of guard cells and subsidiary cells. Here in first type, anomocytic, the subsidiary cells are irregular. Second one, anisocytic. It is also called cruciferous type. In this type of stomata, remains surrounded by 3 subsidiary cells. 1, 2, and 3 subsidiary cells are there. But their size are somewhat irregular. One is large, second one mediated, and third is small. Example, Brassica, Potato, Tomato, these are the example. Third one, diacytic. In this type of stomata, remains surrounded by a pair of subsidiary cells. Only 2 subsidiary cells are there, surround to the guard cells. Example, Dianthus and Hygrophila. Next one, parasitic. It is called parallel cell. In this type of the stoma remains surrounded by 3 subsidiary cells. Sorry, not. By only 2 subsidiary cells which are parallel to the long axis. Only 1 and 2 subsidiary cells are there, and they are parallel to long axis there. Other cells are epidermal cells are there. Then another one, this is also parasitic one, same. Then graminaceous. It is the characteristic feature of all grasses. Family Gramineae and Cyperaceae. In this type, the guard cells are dumbbell shaped. Now see, there are 2 guard cells are there. They are dumbbell shaped and surrounded by only 2 subsidiary cells are there. And last one, that is the sunken type of stoma, tetracytic or coniferous. They are sunken in epidermis in the median path. The guard cells are elliptical and have narrow lumina. At their end, they have wider lumina and are triangular in section. In this way, we have seen different types of stomata. Now, let us see the last point. What is the function of the stomata? First function is that transpiration and evaporation of the water. Transpiration and evaporation of water takes place through the stomata. Second one, exchange of gases. Stomata facilitate the exchange of gases between the plants and atmosphere. And third one, function taxonomic significance. The shape, size, and number of stomata have a great taxonomic significance. And after the end of this unit, there are some assignments are there. 4 questions are in this slide. What is epidermal tissue system? I told that epidermis, stomata, epidermal outgrowths are together are called epidermal tissue system. Describe the structure and function of stomata. We have seen in diagram what is the structure of stomata, guard cells, subsidiary cells, and what is the function. Third question is that give structure of parasitic stomata. And last one, explain the structure of anomocytic stomata. After that, in next lecture, we have to start epidermal outgrowth. Okay, thank you.